The most common question that I've had since my move is, why have you moved to Dubai? And why Dubai specifically? And indeed, some of the comments on this video right here were really, really interesting. But I want to take some time just to talk about this because I don't want to paint this out to be like the perfect move, because there is no such thing as perfect. You do what is right for you. And I'm going to start this video talking about some of the concerns that I had moving here and were heavily considered before the move. The biggest and first concern that I had when this idea about moving here was planted all those years ago was my ethnicity, my skin color. And I know that people will kind of step back and say, well, Pete, we live in 2025 now, racism no longer exists. And those arguments often make me laugh because people who often say that have never experienced racism. And unfortunately for me, because you have to go by personal experience, everywhere that I've lived, be that in the UK or Spain or anywhere else, my ethnicity, my skin color has always been a problem. And so with this idea of moving here one day, my biggest concern was, if I move my life here from the UK, will I be treated fairly? Will I be treated at face value? Will I be treated and, I guess, reciprocated based on how I show up, not based on somebody's assumption that he's black and so on and so forth? And in the 4 years since we've been planning this and coming here now for 10 years, what I found is that it's not so much about skin color here in the UAE. It is very much about your nationality. People work from a basis of fundamental respect. And respect is given and received accordingly. Because if you come out with a positive gesture, it's very, very rare that you're going to have a negative response, especially here anyway. I think the weather may have something to do with that. The second concern that I had about moving here, and to be honest, I still have it because it's something that I'm trying to navigate actively right now, is medical insurance. Now, the UAE is not like the UK, where we have a national health service, where it's essentially subsidized and funded by the government and our tax take, right? Well, it's not subsidized by the government, we pay for it, right, in taxes. It's not like that here in the UAE. And so for me, I need to think about medical insurance. Now, you may be thinking, well, why would that be a concern? Because you'll just buy it and that's it, it's done. I have a pre-existing medical condition, sickle cell anemia, which hasn't really been a problem through most of my adult life, means that medical insurance for me will be uprated. And I literally had a quote a couple of days ago, and for a year's worth of cover, the cost is about 40,000 dirhams. This is how much it is in pounds. Now, I know that there are benefits and there are gives and takes in this conversation because, let's face it, there is zero personal tax here. I will be paying tax back home, so subsidizing or paying for medical insurance with the money that you would have put into taxes back home seems like a fair exchange, if you will. But I'm still shopping around at the moment to find the cheapest and the best deal that I can possibly get for medical insurance, considering that I do have a pre-existing medical condition. And I think if you are looking to move here and you do have a pre-existing medical condition, this is something you really need to consider because it can be very, very expensive and you need to be able to have a financial plan to cover you for that. So let's talk about why we actually moved here. I think the first thing is pretty obvious and would be on the top of most people's list, and that is the climate, the weather, sun. We know that sun is important for the production of vitamin D. Vitamin D helps us have better mood, more focus, more energy levels. And even if it is just waking up to the sun every single morning, I've been here for just over a month now. I've been making this video today, and I am much, much happier than I was back in the UK. And it could just be because the sun is out in the morning. And yes, obviously, this time of year is probably the optimal that you'll get when it comes to the heat and humidity and the fact that there is actually a light breeze today. Through July, August, September, probably up until October, it becomes extremely hot. And that first point leads on to the second point, which is we moved for lifestyle. The lifestyle that you're able to lead in a warm climate is very, very different to the lifestyle that you can lead in, say, the UK, for example, where it is raining. I mean, I don't know about you, but when I was back in the UK, back home, if it was raining, I didn't want to go out. And it dampens your mood. And because of that, the things that you're able to do are limited because you're subject to the weather being suitable to the things that you want to do. You don't have that here. And so you have a better lifestyle. You know, you can wake up in the morning on a weekend and decide, okay, I'm gonna go to the pool. There's a pool downstairs, or you're gonna go to the gym, or you can go to a brunch or a lunch or whatever it is that you might wanna do. You can go for a walk, you can go for a run. There are so many things that you can do. And when I say lifestyle here, I'm not talking about the party lifestyle. I'm just talking about appreciating the simple things, spending time with people in an environment where you feel good about yourself and you want to foster relationships, you want to have new friends and meet new people. All of those things are so much easier in a place like this, where you have the facilities, the infrastructure, and the weather to facilitate those things. The last thing, obviously, I'm a money guy. I moved here because of the tax position. I think at the end of the day, you have to make decisions that are right for you. And let's be honest, if you want to be in a position where you can create wealth, where you're able to use your money to maximize for the future, what you do with your money is really important. And I said it in my the first video that I posted this year on the channel, that there are two things that are going to prevent you from achieving your financial goals this year or feeling like you have financial security. The first one is taxes, and the second one is living expenses. Now, I'll make a separate video on taxes here, both for individuals and businesses, but the tax position here is extremely favorable. Yes, there are givers and takes, but for me personally, I'm at that stage of life where I need to maximize my earnings, I need to maximize the efficiency of my earnings, and this is the place to do it. And lastly, and this is something that I didn't quite appreciate, but I moved here for the opportunities that this place affords you. When I say that, I mean the ability to go into different areas of business. Now, I'm really cognizant that if you're watching this, you might be thinking, oh my God, Dubai is a breeze, and moving abroad is a breeze and it's all great. I promised you that I was going to be raw, and I promised you that I was going to be honest with you. Yes, I'm working today. Yes, I'm on the Palm. Yes, I have brilliant climate and I can make a video for you guys to watch and enjoy on YouTube. But the reality is this comes with a lot of pressure. And we've been planning this for 4 years. And even with all of the plans that we put in place, there are still surprises. I feel under immense pressure. One of the reasons why I feel under immense pressure, and I'll be completely honest with you, is first and foremost, medical insurance. I did not anticipate it was going to cost £10,000 to get coverage for me. And that's at the initial quote stage. That hasn't been medically underwritten yet. And so maybe it's an oversight on my side, I don't know, but that is a shock to the system. And yes, there are some finances to ensure that we're going to be okay, but do I want to overextend on the finances and put myself under additional pressure? The other pressure that I feel is the fact that, yes, I built something here on YouTube, which has allowed me to do this, but the channel and the business that sits behind it has been, for the last 4 years, UK based. The move here jeopardizes the business. The brands that work with me, that basically make this possible, may not want to work with me because I'm no longer in the UK. People may not deem me to be relevant, and I've certainly seen that in the comment section, which is completely fine. But at the end of the day, I can't let my business necessarily dictate the things that I want to do or achieve in life. And with that, I have to mitigate that risk. And so look, if you are moving here, particularly if you're moving here to register a business, you've got to think things through. You really, really do have to think things through. And I hope that, this vlog and these videos will act as a barometer for you to be able to kind of learn along the way. I'm effectively making these mistakes so you don't have to. I'm your guinea pig, if you will. So hopefully you'll find it useful. And through this channel, this second channel, I've got a Telegram group, go join that if you have questions about moving here or you need some help moving here. I'm gonna have a load of resources and contacts that you can use to make that a reality for yourself if you're that way inclined. But yeah, I just want to be as helpful as possible and share the story. And when the podcast is up and running, we're going to give you some real practical things that you can take away and action if you want to move here. But look, I've rambled on a little bit too much now. I appreciate you for watching this. Thank you so much for following the second channel. If you're finding me for the first time, please don't forget to subscribe, to like, and hit that notification bell so that you know when new vlogs like this and the podcast is published when it's up and running.